Onto our keynote. The Dank Duchess is an international hashish consultant, cannabis cultivator, and public speaker using all available media to achieve her mission to help spread cannabis and psychedelic wellness globally. With 18 years of cultivation and 7 years of hash-making experience to her credit, she has dedicated the last 7 years to educating hundreds of thousands of people via print, film, and social media about high-quality cannabis and hashish. We are so happy to have the Dank Duchess here to give our Saturday keynote address. Please, a warm welcome for the Dank Duchess. We're good. Do you have slides you need?
No, I don't have slides.
Okay.
But I do need to know that I can move this and walk. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just unclip and
That's perfect. Okay.
go get them.
Hi, everybody. Sorry. Hi, everybody. How are you feeling? That's good. That's good. Okay, so bear with me. I have speech up here twice, because you know what? I can make some mistakes and drop something or lose something. All right, here we go. Let's drop that. All right. Okay, let me focus. All right. We Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar. This is not going to work out. Sorry. We wear the mask that grins and lies and hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but, O Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but, oh, the day is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, for we wear the mask. Written in 1895, Paul Laurence Dunbar's famous poem speaks to the mask that Black Americans wear that may show happiness but really hides the torment and despair that consumes day-to-day existence. As the Emancipation Proclamation had just been signed less than 40 years prior, living as a Black person in a post-slavery world was quite difficult. Families put in an enormous effort to fit in, to find a way. Often that meant smiling when injustice rained upon them, and beneath their strained smiles, they persevered. As they struggled within, they put a brave face in order to have situations better for their offspring. As they conformed bit by bit, pieces of themselves were lost. This fate of desperate longing to belong, which required a suppression of authentic experience, has been faced by every minority group. It's in our DNA. Oh, I'm sorry, my little high ass. This fate of desperate longing to belong, which required a suppression of authentic experience, has been faced by every minority group. It's in our DNA. As humans, we cling to the safety of the group. According to a 1995 paper by Roy Baumeister and Mark Leary, not only is belonging good, but the desire to belong is a fundamental human compulsion that influences absolutely everything about our lives. But sometimes the need to belong has devastating consequences when we're not fulfilled in constructive ways. We are well versed in teen peer pressure and what happens when the group goes down a dangerous path. But what about the relatively benign practice of trimming one's edges and softening one's corners in effort to maintain one's presence in the group? The changes can be so subtle, or if not subtle, perceived to be so inconsequential that nothing is thought of it until one realizes how much of one's self has been lost. In masking who we truly are, we can lose everything we've ever been, and that's tragic. I am the Dank Duchess. I'm a hash maker, cultivator, and writer, and I invite you to join me on a journey of self-discovery as the intertwining of cannabis and psilocybin in my daily life have incessantly stripped layers of an awfully constricting mask to help reveal an ever-evolving entity, me. So for example, I just said, excuse my high ass, because you know what? I am a little bit high. You know why I'm a little bit high? Because I got a mood issue. It's not even in the speech, but I got a mood issue, and if I don't medicate because I'm a medical patient, it's not that nice. I could be on a whole bunch of things, Wellbutrin, Zoloft, but you know what? I'm not. I'm on cannabis and psilocybin, and you know why I could say that? Sometimes a little bit crazy. Can we curse here? You should let me know that, because I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? I came here, and I'm gonna have a good time with y'all, but if y'all don't fucking like what I have to say, not that big of a deal. It's nothing in terms of who I am as a person. Did it take a long time to get here? Yep, because I'm 44, I'm kind of weird and socially awkward. So here we go, right? So my biggest fear has been losing a sense of belonging, right? Rejection from the group after a lifetime of othering. Let me give you an example. My parents are a little bit weird. My parents are a little bit weird, not because they're just a little bit weird. When I was 5 days old, they put me in my own bedroom. They were like, you need to be independent. They told me this afterwards. 5 days? I mean, that's kind of a little bit more belonging, please, a little bit more belonging, right? So I was the first child of the oldest children on both my grandparents, and we're from Panama. We're not from ritzy part of Panama, we're from Cologne. We make Christian children's fun look like the Sheraton, okay? The last time I was there in 2016, I shit in a bucket with one of my family members. That's how really ridiculously poor. So anything out of that situation, anything to get out of that situation was a big thing. So my grandmother on my father's side came to this country in maybe 72, convinced my father to come up in 76, and he joined the Marines at Camp Lejeune. And then brought my mom up, and then I was born in Camp Lejeune 79, moved to New York in 80. Was in New York, my whole growing up life, right? My parents, it was the 70s. So the government told this huge immigrant wave that came in the 70s, you want your kids to really assimilate, do not teach them your language. That's a bad plan. You want them to be smart, you only teach them English. So there's a whole swath of people from other countries came in from 76 to 80 who feel a little disconnected from their culture because the government told them it was gonna make us not smart to know more than one language. Okay? My parents knew that education was gonna be the key thing. Education was going to be the thing that's gonna make sure that we didn't end up back in Cologne, not even scraping out in existence. So my parents only allowed education and things that were gonna get me into a good college. So I ended up going to all the right schools, and I went to private school while they were doing a million jobs at the same time. It was just really sacrifice. And for this great sacrifice, then I had to be doing perfectly well. So I had A's across the board, went to the right junior high school, because in New York that matters. Then I went to Stuyvesant. If you don't know anything about Stuyvesant, it's one of the best math and science high schools in New York, and I was killing it. I didn't have any friends. I had books, because I didn't really know how to interact with people, because my parents didn't interact with people either, so I got books, focus on books, and I had a sense of rejection all the time. I was in my dance class, and we were touring and stuff like that, but I don't really quite fit in. Not quite sure, but I don't fit in. But I know I'm smart. I'm smart, and at least that's gonna take me somewhere, right? I wasn't overly bullied in school, but I was excluded a lot. So the one thing to this day, that is my biggest issue is about, do I really belong? Do these people want me to actually be here? Hence the weed and the psilocybin. It makes me not give a fuck. But, so never have I been in a group which wanted me to belong, that I could stay weird, right? But then in the 9th grade, and as I was a dancer, I had a dancer's body. I was super flat-chested, I was really short, and I was real obnoxious and all that. It was a bad movie. Then in the 9th grade, I was like, ooh, I'm popular. I've got breasts, I've got an ass. The boys like me, but I was still really weird, so that didn't work out. So I still didn't have this sense of belonging. Fuck, this is not working out for me. Then I went to Howard University on scholarship, and that was great. And I thought I was gonna be the bee's knees. Guess what? A whole bunch of people there on scholarship, more brilliant than my ass was, smart, it was crazy. It was just like, it was like life, you know what I'm saying? But then I met this group of people at the Computer Learning and Design Center, and they were some nerds, and they were black. I mean, it was Howard, so it was mostly black. And they were super accepting. I could be whoever. And they never, ever said I was weird. They did say I had a little bit of a temper problem, again, hence the weed. But I felt good. I felt good like for the first time in my life for all the things that I had accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I danced for Nelson Mandela when he was released. You know, but nobody liked me. Life kind of fucking sucks when no one likes you. Gotta tell you that, right? So, yeah, I joined this group, this like-minded set of people, and gave me the confidence to come out as queer in 1996. I was 17, came back for Christmas. I was like, Mommy, I also like girls, so you should know that. That's kind of a thing now. She's like, you're gonna marry a girl? I don't know. I'm probably gonna marry my girlfriend, but yes, I don't know. And I was in an active queer organization at a historically black college and university. Okay, so historically black colleges and universities were founded because we couldn't go anywhere else, and they have their own traditions, and a lot of them are really rooted in the black church. And being queer in 1996, that wasn't fun. That wasn't rah-rah. It wasn't so rah-rah. It was very much like, be closeted, be quiet. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. Y'all don't even like me anyway, so I'm be queer. Duh. But you know what? I wasn't doing that really on campus, though. I wasn't that brave. So I would go to like resorts really far, and I was masking that, and that kind of sucked because I also wanted to be part of this organization. A little history lesson again. A black Greek letter organization, specifically Alpha Kappa Alpha, and they had all these standards that were a lot of society's pressures just all on you, and you know what? I wasn't really meeting them. So college was another sense where I wasn't feeling like where I could possibly belong. And by the way, let me just let you know, I wasn't smoking any weed through any of this. So I was raw dogging life, being weird, and doing nothing. To this day, I've never been tipsy in my life. So I'm just squaring it up through the world, squaring it up. And then life just changed. Life just changed. I had this new boyfriend. We moved to Miami. I had been with him for 2 years. He loved weed, and weed is definitely it's gonna kill you. Don't you know? Say no to drugs. Weed is the worst. And then one day the cannabis called me. I'm sure everybody here knows about a sacred medicine that at some point just called you. And after all the terrible things I had been saying about cannabis and how it was just gonna fry our brain and such, the cannabis super called me. And within 3 months, I was growing cannabis. I was growing cannabis because I realized that these fuckers had lied. They told me that I was not going to be able to do anything. The first day I took a puff, I did some differential equations in calculus, and I was like, I'm still bright. These fuckers lied. And so I was smoking. I was seeing all the grays of life, all that binary thinking, yes, no, it has to be this. That was gone. I was seeing color like this man's shirt, and I was in new place. That meant I now needed to grow weed. I'm in Florida. It's 2001. You can go to jail for having a joint, and I live down the block from at this time, I'm living next door to Officer Friendly. Officer Friendly is friendly as shit. When we have the Hurricane Wilma, and we don't have any power, and I'm worried about my lights, and he wants to come over with a beer, and I'm just trying to smoke my weed. Go away, Officer Friendly. Shit, I need to grow my weed in peace. Moved to Miami Beach. It was down the block from the police station, and the cops came home every day. And I was just like, today's the day. I'm gonna lose it. Today's the day. The problem about being in Florida at that time growing weed is anyone who grows weed and who knows the fastest way to get caught growing weed is to tell someone you're growing weed. So I have managed, by the way, to join this organization because with black Greek organizations you can join after grad chapter. I suddenly have this new family. They love me. They cannot come to my house. They think that's weird. They can't come to my house. But, they love on me, but I can't really be intimate. Everybody knows when someone is hiding something. And I'm hiding this whole other life. And when I say I have to hide it, the people in my organization include Kamala Harris, Congress people. I know these people on my phone, and I'm just like, but I gotta go home now to grow my weed. This is a life that I lived for 10 years. That makes you crazy. Masking like that makes you crazy because you cannot share your ups and downs, your joys, your fears. I was worried about being arrested for 10 straight years. 10 straight years with no one I could say, I feel like I'm doing this for a reason, so if something happens, understand what my story is. 10 straight years of not really connecting to anyone except my husband because we're the ones growing the weed and we're the ones who are taking the risk. 10 straight years of living a shadow of a life because I'm so afraid of getting in trouble, but wanting a family so bad. So you know what I do? I moved to California. Screw this Florida nonsense. 2014, I moved to California and changed my name. I was just like, Sheila Duchess. Okay, so I'm Duchess. All right. What am I going to do in California? I'm going to grow a whole bunch of weed, but I'm not going to tell anybody about it. So I'm living in secret again, and that's kind of stupid. But okay, I'm going to do that. But I don't know what I'm going to do. And I happen to meet, I don't know if anyone has heard of Frenchie Cannoli, if you love hash. I was Frenchie's actual first student. I was not his apprentice. I was his very first student. September 2014, I started learning how to make hash. And that, gave me this career in cannabis. So I was growing a lot of weed on the roof of my building, and Frenchie was my mentor. I was in magazines. Things were happening, but I was still very silent to the other part of my life. So here I thought, all I had to do was just, find some friends will be good. But when you cut off part of yourself, the other part of my life pre-2014, who just, she just disappeared off the face of the earth, you again lose part of yourself. But I felt like it would be better for me to suspend that relationship with this organization and all the people who had been there for my wedding, my ups and downs, deaths and everything. I literally turned my back on them because I didn't feel like cannabis was going to be accepted. And I couldn't risk losing. I finally had a family after years of just wishing and wishing and wishing. But my family member, my cousin, got married in Spain in 2015, and I went. I was the only one who went. I went over there with some hash, and I got in my head, I'm out here, I might as well go to some of these clubs, show them my shit. So I went to a couple of clubs in Madrid and had to deal with some sexism as they talked to my husband. I'm the hash maker. This is not a we situation. This is a me situation. And I got my little confidence up, went to the wedding. I ended up in the Basque Country. In the Basque Country, I don't know anyone in the Basque Country. If you don't know, it's a very small little space between Spain and France. And I walk into a conference, and a guy goes, "I know you." I was like, "No, you don't." Doesn't make any sense. And he goes, "You're Duchess." I was like, "Oh, baby, you do know me. Who are you?" "I'm Blue Ice." "The hash maker? Oh my God, I follow you on Instagram." How about a little fangirl moment? And he's like, "Oh, can I smoke with you?" "Oh, by all means, you can smoke with me." He's like, "Let me introduce you to some people." And I got to meet the Weed Maps Barcelona people. They saw my hash, and they're like, black girl bringing some hash here. What is going on here? Too bad you're not going to Barcelona, because that's the scene. Ooh, I am going to Barcelona for 2 days. Okay, I'm going there. And then so the next day, I'm like, you know what? This living two lives shit is bullshit. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't care if they don't like me. Pick up my phone, it's 2015, and make a video, and I post it to Facebook, to everybody in my life at one time. Y'all all gonna know. I'm gonna unmask right now. It's weed and psychedelics, y'all. That's what I'm doing. And whoever doesn't like it, go away. One person left. Everybody else was like, oh, go Sheila, you're doing it. And I was just like, oh, I'm missing out on this whole bit of support that could have been here if I had just opened my mouth. Oh, let me see. This is this new thing. Authentic experience. Life might be easier. Oh, I'm just like, this is good. This is good, you know? So the truth of the matter is that, like, the need to be unmasked pushed hard against, when I was going across the country, the reason why I didn't tell anyone is that the need to be unmasked pushed really hard against this idea of family. And once it's easy to say, oh, you'll just do whatever you want. But for being queer, but for being this involved in cannabis or in psychedelics, that's not so easy for people who are not living in an environment that's continuously supportive. Rather, you find yourself putting on this mask of being normal, even when you're not normal, right? Even when you're not normal. So the vulnerability that people came to show me when I was opening myself to them, that became a sacred relationship that I realized would not happen. And that is when I started to learn intimacy. So I had gotten to know all these people in the organization before, but once I started stop being a liar, once I started being myself, a little bit of myself, then suddenly people could feel that, and there can be an establishment of trust to reveal what's really happening with them. We all know when the vibes are not right, when someone seems cool, but something is not right about them. Something they're not revealing makes you feel like you cannot be close to them. And me saying something that could be ostracized as a Black woman, I gotta tell you, it's not as much acceptance for especially psychedelics quite yet. A lot of times people think that's gonna make you crazy, and anyone advocating that is problematic. But I took the leap, and it was 100% worth it. 100% worth it. All types of women and men reveal their worries, and I was able to help people. See, beforehand, I had gone over to do the weed thing, and yeah, I was gonna help people. But it's different to help people when you expose yourself to what's really going on. It's different when you take a theoretical approach, and you're like, oh yes, do this, this, this. Or when you're like, I was depressed. I went through 14 months when I didn't leave my house. I know why cannabis will be good for you. When you're open like that, that's when you can connect to people, and that's what I did not understand. In my effort through the years to belong and to make sure that I didn't offend anybody, then I pleased nobody. Why would they want me in their group? You don't even know which way she kind of going with that. She's no stance on anything, right? So that was a major thing. And I want to make it clear that though this talk is about cannabis and psilocybin, it's how they intertwine in my life to get me to this place of unmasking. So I'm getting to the taking in a minute, right? So it's 2015, 2016, 2017. I'm growing cannabis, delving into, hashish. I'm doing everything, every major event. And guess what? My marriage is tanking. And I smile on social media every fucking day because I've given myself this rigid schedule, which is like 3 posts a day, and I am there, and cannabis is great, and we're love, and this is how you make hashish, and I'm dying inside. I'm fucking dying, man. I'm dying. And it's getting harder and harder to make those posts, and that shit is sucking. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, your life is so awesome. You travel all over the place. And I'm just like, but where is that connection, right? Where is that connection? And you know what started the first little bit of fucking connection? It's 2017, March 2017, and Cannabis, which happens in Spain, it's cannabis in Spain, happens, and it's been great for me, parties and workshops, it's all great. And my husband and I had figured this to be our last shot is the marriage gonna work? And we're standing in this tourist area. We wanted to go to this club, but it wasn't open, so we're just standing. I'm like smoking on a vape pen. So in Spain, they have the clubs, and everybody knows you can go to the clubs, and you can smoke in your house, but it's a little bit of a catch-22 situation where getting from your house to the club is illegal. So if you get caught with anything on the way to the club or anywhere outside of a private situation, you're going to jail. Okay, so I'm like chilling, the Barceloneta, I'm feeling good, it's 27, it's been great. And my fucking husband decides to fucking roll a joint. Okay. And on the bike comes a police officer. Okay. Then comes another one. Yeah, 9 police officers on bikes rolled up on us for this fucking joint. So he's rolling this joint. He had been rolling the joint. They like going through his pockets and shit. Now, I had been sucking on a vape pen, but like that disappeared real fast. But I had a bag. And so I'm a hash maker, yes, but I used to write for several magazines about hash. I didn't review hash, rather I would write these long stories about the hash maker and the hash and blah, blah, blah. And I'm a pretty good writer. So a lot of people had given me lots of pieces of hash through Cannabis to see what was gonna be the next article I would write, right? So I got a lot of little pieces of hash, like in all these individual little pieces of paper and plastic and crap in my bag. And they're like, what about that? I'm like, ooh, this is not gonna go good. Pick up the bag, they're going through it. Now we got 13 cops. Oh my God, this is so bad. There's this guy that had been standing next to me. Honestly, he was smuggling a ridiculous amount of stuff. And like the cops had turned to him and I was like, I don't even know him. Not because I'm not trying to get caught with him, but we got in trouble. Dude, like, this is just some dude that's just asking for directions. You know, we don't know him, don't talk to him. Go smuggle all the way to UK. We are now getting arrested. Okay, lovely. I have never been in the principal's office. I'm now arrested in Spain. I'm telling you, I'm having some freaking Midnight Express feelings right now. I'm like, this is so bullshit. So I'm arrested. I'm felt up outside. We're arrested. I'm so stressed out. My period comes early. Oh, God. So now I'm like bleeding like a crazy person. They got me in the hospital making sure nothing's wrong. It's my period. Come on, y'all. Y'all cut that part. And I finally make it to where they take you. Don't go to jail if you don't need to go to jail. They like take off all your clothes, go through all your little parts, and give you some other person's clothes, right? And I'm still bleeding down my leg like a crazy person. Can I at least wear something? And it was the most undignifying fucking experience I've had in my life. So that's why I don't give a fuck what you think. Because you know what? Y'all weren't there when I was yelling for compresas, which are pads, which hold your period blood, which you have to show them open to make sure you're not doing, what could you possibly be doing with a pad while you're in solitary in a room that has nothing in it except a fucking toilet with 5 cameras staring at you and you know you don't have a single female fucking guard. So, you know, what could be said to me? You know what I'm saying? I went through that for 2 straight days. No, you know, I'm really thinking, yeah, embassy, I need the consulate. Well, you know, they sent me, I got a public defender. He's like, oh, Sheila, I'm so sorry about this. Sheila, I'm just like, get me out of here. Nobody knows. I have not called my parents. I've called one person. Some of y'all might even know who that is. Dashida Dawson. She used to be the head of Cannabis in Portland. She happens to be the head of Cannabis in New York and happens to be one of my best friends, right? It's the one person I call. Dashida, I'm in jail. I'm in jail and I don't know what's going on in my life. You know what happened in jail? I came to accept that shit. You know, I'm in jail. It's likely only going to be 2 days. Hopefully, this is going to be easy. And the process went on. They got me 2 days later. Hilton. Oh, that's me. At this point, I have lost my hair is a fucking mess. It's everywhere. I'm wearing a slip. I'm wearing someone's shirt. I'm wearing someone else's panty for 2 days. Like, I haven't eaten. I'm a wreck. And I just need to get out of there, right? I'm a wreck. But I know one thing. But you made it out of there. So fuck them Cannabis people with their bullshit little crying and bitching on the internet, and fuck them. What they could do to me for whatever, what could they possibly do to me now that I have risked my whole freaking career in Spain? Because now I got a record. Now I've at least been arrested. They're like, just don't get in trouble before you leave. And I get back to California, and I really have a complete reassessment of who the hell I am. Because I now am stripped bare of being a human in a way. And I did it for cannabis because I'll do that shit again. And you know what? I went back to Spain 3 more times. I was like, screw that shit, right? Yeah, you're getting excited about that until I came back from Spain in September of 2018, and the DOJ was like, Spain wants you to have this. So the Spain was like, you're looking at 5 years, so we let you go, but you're looking at 5 years, or you can just stay away for 2 years, and we'll see about not making it so bad for you. Now, I had made a career. I had made a career there. I had made friends there. That's the thing about Barcelona. Barcelona was like my happy place. And I didn't know why it was my happy place, but I'd be damned if I had worked hard to be here. I had put in hours and hours of making hash on the 3rd floor of a walk-up, which I had to take all the ice, 40 pounds of ice per day, and gallons of water because I buy that shit from down the street. I had put in my damn dues. And y'all was telling me I'm looking at 5 years, and I was not an international drug trafficker, because that's what they was charging me with. International drug trafficking, for real, for these little bits of pieces of hash. And I said, I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight it. Fuck a Midnight Express, I'm gonna fight it. And then I turned to my husband, and I was just like, young, you started this shit, call your mother. And I'll be honest, I was like, you're gonna use the fact that y'all happen to have some money, and you're gonna pay for the right lawyer, because I'm not gonna fuck up my career because you're bullshit, because you rolling a damn joint when you know you can't roll a damn joint in the street, right? So, calls the lawyer. Now, the lawyer is, again, my friends in Barcelona. I asked 3 people. They all had this one guy. So I got this guy. He's like, oh, Sheila, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay. It's getting closer because it's February 14th, 2019 is the day that I am due in Spain, if I'm coming, all right? It's getting closer. Come January, Nick's mother, my husband's name is Nick. Nick's mother's like, maybe y'all shouldn't go back to Spain. 2 years is not so bad. 2 years in your life, you are retired. I have made my name here. I am bringing hash makers over to Spain, and I'm not gonna benefit from it? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. And now I'm not fine with the mask of being the okay daughter-in-law that wants to just go along to get along. Or be fine with the fact that I worked my ass off and worked extra hard as a black woman within this industry. And now other people are gonna benefit because I literally had made all the connections. No, that's not gonna happen. So we went to court. But before we went to court, I had a mushroom trip. I had a mushroom trip that was around 4.73 grams, which, now I'm generally in the 5s. And that mushroom trip said, you have been abusing cannabis. How could I be abusing cannabis? I grow cannabis. I was smoking about 21 grams of weed a day. Weed and hash. So throw that in there. I was sad, y'all. Had no connection. I got tens of thousands of followers on Instagram. Duchess, you're so famous. I don't know you people. And I don't trust any of you to cry around. And y'all don't understand my particular trajectory with my career. And I'm fucking by myself again. Damn. But I said, you know what? I don't have to live like that. I don't have to live sad. Barcelona's big. Why is Barcelona big in my life? because I'm vulnerable and I'm easy and I'm unmasked with those people. I'm not worrying about my career as the Dank Duchess. I'm just Duchess, even though over there I'm still doing work. But everybody knows it's Cannabis, it's chill, it's relaxed. And you're a totally different person when you're not trying to manage the way people see you. If you allow people to be themselves and allow your own light to shine, this is, of course, what the mushrooms were telling me, then you get to have that happiness that I'm like craving, that I'm chasing after. Oh, okay. Well, all you got to do is be. All you have to do is be. Oh, okay. All you have to do is be. All right? So I'm like wrapped up too tight. I'm wrapped up too tight on it every day. My image is a certain way. I'm like dealing with the fact that one company's trying to steal my name. Freaking Dolls Kill has a gown that is with my freaking name because someone stole. I mean, I'm dealing with a lot, right? That mushroom trip changed me because I said, you know what? We can't keep going down that path. We cannot keep maintaining this visage on the internet that, man, we could just smile through it all. Because every so often, by the way, I'd yell at some people. Some people would say some dumbass shit, and I wouldn't be smiling. I'd curse them out real bad. Like make a whole post, series of posts cursing them out. See, that was a sign that I wasn't holding it together. Once I had that big mushroom trip, guess what? I was like, I'm not gonna let it build like that. And I started delving further into doing other things besides focusing on my career. Other things, right? I started focusing on my art because I've been a painter for a while, but I don't feel comfortable sharing with that. So I'm like, oh, Duchess, we see your art in the background. Oh, no, let's talk about something else. And I'm always second guessing myself, What brought that to a little close? Daily microdosing, because now it's 2020 and we in COVID. Okay, we're in COVID. Everybody's feeling stressed out. We've got the freaking race riots going on, and 2020 sucks. And everyone says they're smoking more and tensions are high. And I, for one, am finally not smoking more because I'm microdosing, and that shit's feeling fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So although I had been doing doses, now I'm doing a daily interactive relationship with psilocybin. And that's helping me find my place. That's helping me realize that I love this and I love this and I love that. And although my style is more voluptuous, it's my style, and that's fine. Because my background of everything being perfect when I was younger, I'm needing y'all to love my hash and love the way I grow. Oh my God, that's its own freaking, everybody has an opinion. And when you're on the internet, everyone's gonna give you an opinion. And when you want to be liked by everybody, you try to do everybody's style. That's crazy. So the mushrooms got me out of that loop. And that's the only reason I can be here, because man, I was in some depths of some places. The mushrooms got me out of that loop. The losing my garden several times got me out of that loop because they taught me patience. That taught me that I did not have to be perfect. And then you know what happened? Started sharing my stuff on the internet with those same people. You know, they were like, oh my goodness, I'm going through that too. Thank you, Duchess. Now I'm getting that connection that I wanted again because I'm being authentic and demasking for that particular reason, right? So here I am standing before you. There are not that many black people here. I mean, let's just be honest, it's Portland. There's not that many black people. And usually, I'd feel an obligation to be pretty perfect. I mean, it's not that many black people here, so you gotta keep it together. For the women, for the black women, for the over 40 women, I mean, every freaking label you can think, for the queer women. I hope y'all liked it. I hope you got something from it. Try to understand that every single person, for all your insecurities and all your loves and everything, if we just let down that guard a little bit by growing, by understanding, by connecting, by utilizing, by being here, by letting that mask go, that's the connection that we've all been looking for. So I'm not gonna shrink. I'm gonna be flawed and imperfect. I'm not gonna wear the mask of perfection for the benefit of career or the benefit of anybody else's comfort. Because at the end of the day, we realize we aren't ourselves because we don't wanna bother somebody else. Because if we bother somebody else, then they may decide we don't belong. Who's the one that doesn't belong? The one that's standing out. Well, you know what? Maybe all the ones that are standing out can make their own group rather than dim their light to be like everyone else. So, as I stand here before you, my mask is not quite all the way off, but it certainly is skewed because of the intimate relationships with cannabis and psilocybin. Thank you. I hope that was good.